Hi, Mark Oswald for another segment of Heart, Home, and Soul. Thanks for tuning in. My two guests this evening are Brenda Mahoney, who is Director of Business Development with New Hampshire Housing.
Yes.
And Nellie Doughty, who is with Merrimack Mortgage.
Yes.
Welcome both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brenda, we're going to start with you because you get the prize for coming the farthest.
Yes, I do.
All the
Yes.
way from downtown Bedford.
Yes,
Or
yes, that's
somewhere
correct.
over
Yes,
there.
it is in
Okay.
Bedford. Yes, absolutely.
So my first question would be New Hampshire Housing. It sounds like a federal agency, maybe a state entity. I don't know.
Good question. And we are not. We are not a state-run entity. New Hampshire Housing, if you don't mind me quoting, New Hampshire Housing is a self-supporting public benefit corporation established by the state legislature. We administer a broad range of programs designed to assist low and moderate income persons and families with obtaining decent, safe, and affordable housing. Over the last 40 years, we've helped more than 45,000 families to purchase homes, contributing more than $200 million per year to the state's real estate economy. So we are not. We were set up by the state. Our board is appointed by the governor, but we get no funding from the state of New Hampshire. We are self-supporting.
That's over 1,000 home purchases a year
Yeah.
over a 40-year period.
Yeah,
Impressive.
yeah.
I didn't sell that many last year.
You didn't.
I came
I
close,
thought it
but
was you, but I wasn't sure. Yeah.
I did my fair share. All right. And how does a buyer or a borrower qualify for a program?
We have some characters that we like people to check out at our GoNewHampshireHousing.com website, and they're the reasons that you would use New Hampshire Housing. And we feel the best space for the borrower to start is with education. And our first reason, his name is Ed Education, and we have some. We really love folks to go to in-person counseling, but we know that isn't really the reality nowadays. Everybody's just way too busy. So right on our website at GoNewHampshireHousing.com, we have online education that the borrower can take so they understand what you're talking about and what their lovely lender is talking about.
And if people, because they're watching this on TV,
Yeah.
if they're visual learners, you have to explain that these characters are like superheroes.
They are.
They
They are
are.
superheroes.
They look like
And
Wonder Woman.
coming live to our website very shortly. We're going to have real people. But yes, when we changed our business model in 2012, everybody said, well, what would be the reason we would use New Hampshire Housing? So we literally developed the reasons that you would still come back to New Hampshire Housing. And I think one of the most important things is that as a first-time home buyer, people should work with trusted people. You know, it's great nowadays to push that button on a phone and get a mortgage, but is that a reality? I mean, you're really going to get a mortgage, but is it the right one for you?
Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Absolutely. Go get your education and then move on over to a trusted lender like Merrimack Mortgage.
And are these programs for first-time buyers only?
They absolutely are not. Anyone is eligible for the programs now. And we have great programs. We have programs that can help with down payment and closing costs. We can give up to 3% to the buyer to use for either, as I said, down payment or closing costs. We have no purchase price limits. We do have an income limit, which is quite sizable, so most everybody qualifies for that. And then, on top of everything else, if you need help with that lovely home that you've just bought, maybe it was a foreclosed property or whatever, we have rehab loans that can help with that. And that's where another one of our characters come in, and that's build equity.
Build equity.
Build equity.
Very clever.
Yes. So back to our education, back to our lender. You might want to talk about our lovely Merrimack Mortgage and what she does with the customer. I'm sorry, I'm taking over here.
no.
We can do that.
She's ready to pass that to me.
I am.
I guess.
Well, but borrowers that come in from New Hampshire Housing come in direct from their website, and they come to our corporate office, which distributes them based on location. And our objective is to reach out to them right away, to get a hold of them, to reach out. And to try to get a feel for what they're looking for. We know how they found us, so it's essentially a warm transfer. They're coming to us because you've said, hey, Merrimack, call these people. And we get them on the phone and just, excuse me, and just try to get some basic, are they under contract? Because sometimes you'll get ones that have already gone out and then they're saying, hey, let's call New Hampshire Housing or find this out. That happened today, by the way. And get some basic qualifying information, try to set up a time to meet with them. And I guess I'm maybe unique in this. When I first meet with the client from New Hampshire Housing, or really from anybody, if it's a warm transfer like that, there's a level of regard, a level of trust. And so I like to be able to have the first meeting have a little bit more substance to it. And so I actually direct them to my website to apply. And what that does is that allows me, because it authorizes me to pull their credit, I'm telling them that I'm pulling their credit. It allows me to look at an entire profile the first time I sit with them. It allows me to leaf through my different New Hampshire housing programs and say, yes, no, this one works, no, this one works. And I can actually sit with them and say, this is where you would qualify, these are the programs that may fit you, or they may need work on their credit. It really depends. Sometimes people think of New Hampshire Housing as a first-time home buyer program, so that's typically the referral that will come through the website. But in sitting with clients that are not referred by New Hampshire Housing, you always still think of New Hampshire Housing, whether it's coming from them or not, because they have some amazing products to be able to get anybody into a home, really, especially the cash assistance, the Cash Plus,
Right.
Flex Plus.
I was just going to say, so I want to go back because you touched earlier,
I'm
Brenda,
sorry.
on education.
I did.
And I know you give away free money,
Well,
in a manner of speaking.
nothing is free nowadays.
Right.
But yes, we do. And we have, since you did go back to education, we have a program that's going on right now, and it's called YOMO. And
got those.
YOMO stands for You Only Mortgage Once. We know that's not really the reality. You hopefully don't only mortgage once, otherwise realtors might be looking for something else to do. But, we want them to stop. We want them to pause. Do not push that button. Do not pause and take stock of what you're doing. I mean, this is the largest transaction you're ever going to do. And you're right, we're primarily still a first-time home buyer shop. It's what people believe us to do. But we do any borrower. It doesn't matter if it's their first home or if they're buying their next home, or if they want to refinance their home. We can do that now also. But the other thing too is we have this great website, and we get a lot of traffic. And we have roughly 40 lenders that work with us throughout the state. But what we like about our lenders is that they are a trusted source. We have 100% confidence that when a borrower comes in our front door through our website and they refer themselves to one of our lenders, we know the type of service they're going to get, and that is why they're approved lenders. And ironically, Nellie's shop is one of our top producers, so it's a wonderful combination. They do a great job by us.
Good.
It's very comfortable.
Other thoughts?
I have one other really big one that I don't want people to miss out on, and that's the home buyer tax credit. So if Nellie's able to get you into your mortgage and everything else, the other thing that she's going to offer the customer is the frosting on the cake, as I call it, and that's our Home Start home buyer tax credit. In 2012, we changed our business model, and the source of funds that we used to use were tax-exempt bonds. And in case anybody didn't notice, the bond market kind of died, so we had to switch over as to how we were going to fund loans. So we now do mortgage-backed securities. That left the bond cap sitting there, so we have converted this bond cap into mortgage credit certificates. This gives that first-time home buyer up to a $2,000 tax credit every year that they own or occupy that property and have that mortgage on that house. This is a huge opportunity. It's funny because first-time home buyers think that, well, how does that work? I don't pay taxes, because they all think they get a refund every year, so they don't pay. And then we explain to them and show them on their pay stubs that, yes, you actually do pay taxes. It's just a huge benefit to these first-time home buyers. That program is just for first-time home buyers. But the definition of a first-time home buyer is obviously if they've never owned a home, or if they own a home today and happen to be buying tomorrow in a targeted community, they're eligible. Or if it's been at least 3 years since they've owned a home, we consider them first-time home buyers all over again. So they can take advantage of this. H&R Block, TurboTax, everybody is all over this, so this is a huge benefit. And
also from a qualifying perspective, because of the savings, I can actually take the savings, and if they're eking by with ratio qualifying and getting into the program, I can take the savings and add it to their income as though it's
Just a boost to get them there.
just the boost to take them from a 40 to a 45 or whatever.
Yes,
you know, that
a better ratio.
Exactly,
place.
a better
Yeah,
ratio
Yeah,
to get them
yeah.
up.
It's a great product.
It is, just in general.
I have to pay a compliment to New Hampshire Housing. I was welcome to participate along with Nellie at your expo,
Yes, the homebuyer
your
fair.
homebuyer fair.
Yes,
And was that March, I think?
it was March.
March.
St.
March
Patrick's
5th,
Day,
something
yeah.
like that.
So something to plan
right
ahead.
around St.
Any viewers, and you're thinking about this, I wouldn't wait till March of 2017,
Yeah.
but
Right.
put that in the calendar because what a
Absolutely.
fabulous experience for people.
Yep.
And you had a number of exhibitors, so realtors, home inspectors, contractors, lenders, certainly quite a variety of people.
And the good part about that
It's a nice mix.
that environment is it's non-threatening to the people, and they can walk through.
They're window shopping.
They can ask those questions that they might otherwise be afraid to ask. You know, because you've got everybody there. You've got the realtor, you've got the lender, you've got home inspectors, like you said. You've got home insurance companies. Yeah, it's turned out to be a very successful program for us. You know, the home buyer fair, the annual home buyer fair.
And other than that, can I play host for a second?
You may.
Other than that, how is New Hampshire? I know that you're going through your lenders and you rely on lenders like Merrimack and myself to promote your product, whether it's coming from your website or from just our education, knowing the product so well. How else is New Hampshire Housing marketing? I mean, what
Out
other
there?
types of events are you doing? I mean, you're doing this with Mark to let
Yes.
residents know
My
that it's out
first live
there.
show. We do. I do a certified education course for realtors. You know, and kind of trying to get to all the realtors in the state of New Hampshire is kind of like herding cats. You know, there is a large number of them, but they're very welcoming to me. And I go in and I do a 1-hour, 1-credit course for them, just talking about our program. So I'm in charge of doing realtors and lenders.
You have that coming
know.
up in our board, in this
Right.
board. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, and then we have another gentleman in the shop who works directly with borrowers, and he kind of works with them through the website. You know, and kind of gets the hook into them that way and nurtures them along. You know, if they're interested, if they're looking for something, can we get them to the next step? You know, so I pretty much travel the state talking to whoever wants to hear what I have to say. So. That's pretty much how we get ourselves out there.
Okay.
And now you're going to have to watch for the videos.
Oh, I'm
That's all I
excited
can
for the
tell you.
videos.
They're really, they're
They're good.
silly. they're silly, but they're light and they're cute.
And you've been an entertaining guest. I have to say that during the course of this, we've had 2 phone calls, one from Jimmy Fallon and one from Stephen Colbert.
There we go.
And they both want you on.
There
so,
we go. We're good to
you know,
go. Oh,
I mean, I'm yesterday's news. You know,
hey,
it's like they're-
hey, live with
you-
New Hampshire
you-
Housing.
You're,
There we
you're
go.
going to New York to spread the word, right?
Oh, I can't do anything in New York though. Sorry.
Okay.
New Hampshire only. And that's one last thing, one last plug. You know, if it's important at all, we are an investor in the state of New Hampshire. Our money stays here. So if it's important for your customers to invest where they live,
Yeah.
that's what they're doing if they go to New Hampshire Housing.
Think local.
Think local.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Very
much.
good.
Thank
Nellie,
you.
thank you.
No, thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming, Brenda.
Great.
And
It was
thank you
great.
for watching. Credits will follow. If you have further questions, contact Nellie or Brenda or myself. We'd be happy to serve you.